book reading session. So, as we are reading the book Life is What You Make It by Preeti Shenoy, and this is a love story book. And now we reached chapter number 21. The chapter name is Faith is Powerful Thing. So, as we have done every day, like we repeat that sentence in which we fumbled. So, uh, I'm going to start. Okay, faith is powerful thing. It felt strange to be holding paintbrush once again. I did not know what to paint. I looked outside the window and saw rows of flowers nodding their head happily in the sunshine. Finally, that was the finally that was what I painted. Sorry guys, I'm going to share my screen so that you can also see what I am reading. It felt strange to be holding paintbrush once again. I did not know what to paint. I looked outside the window and saw rows of flowers nodding their heads happily in the sunshine. I looked outside the window and saw rows of flowers nodding their heads happily in the sunshine. Finally, that was what I painted. It was a quick impression of those flowers, splatters of red and yellow. I added green too. Then I painted the sky light blue. I worked fast and furiously. I slapped on paint like I had never seen before. I was so absorbed in the picture and that I did not realize it was lunchtime. When I turned around, I saw the two young men I had seen earlier standing behind me and looking at the. When I turned around, I saw the two young men I had seen earlier standing behind me and looking at my picture. It's good, said the taller of the two. The other one nodded appreciatively. Thank you, I managed to say. I was not sure that I wanted an audience for my works. I had just begun coming out of my cocoon and did not want to speak to anyone. I had just begun coming out of my cocoon and did not want to speak to anyone. I hoped they would leave me alone, but they took my as a signal of talk. But they took my acknowledgement as a signal to talk. But they took my acknowledgement as a signal of talk. Too sorry. But they took my acknowledgement as a signal to talk. Hi, I'm Sagar, said the taller one. And I am Anuj, said the other. Hi, I managed to say, avoiding eye contact. I hoped they would get me the hint and leave me alone. I pretended, I pretended, I pretended to add finishing touch to other picture. I could still see them over the corner of my eye. They were, they are not budding. They were not Beijing, and you are, said Sagar. Ankita, I answered. I still bent over my picture. It is lunchtime now. We have to go to the dining hall, said Anuj. I went along with them to the dining hall. I helped myself to some rice, some curry, and some vegetables. It was the first time in month that I actually noticed that I was eating. Till now, food was consumed simply because I had to stay alive. But now I actually noticed that the vegetable indeed looked delicious. The curry was had highly ready. The curry was highly ready, but it was not as hot as it cooked. The curry was a fiery red, but It was not as hot as it looked. It was tangy and tasty. It was tangy and tasty. The rice was the rice was just cooked. The rice was cooked just right. It was light and fluffy. It felt like heaven in my mouth. Or perhaps it seems that way to me. It was like a dead person coming to life after a very long while and then tasting food. I took a morsel and then started at the food on my plate for a few seconds before I joined Anuj and Sagar, my new pets, at their table as they mentioned me to join them. Then we conversed about movies and about books. Both Sagar and Anuj were avid readers and had watched almost all the movies that I had, much like everybody else in our age group. I, devel- I discovered, yes, in in the evening I have completed my syllabus. Just one, some just few topics are left. After a while, I will complete that. I have approx 12 hours more to complete all the syllabus, and as consistency matters, that's why I'm reading the book. I discovered that I could converse easily. Nobody asked any questions about why I was there and what my past was. Perhaps that was unsaid understanding that existed amongst, thanks Abhijit Kumar, amongst everybody here. I felt happy about that. Thank you, Abhijit. It gave me a feeling of security. I would have hated it had they probed, and I would then have withdrawn into my cell. But they were easy going and friendly, and it was hard not to be drawn into their talk and laughter. Later in my room, I wondered why they were in OT. They seemed perfectly sane and normal to me. It did not seem they had any mental health issues or any problem. They were just two regular guys. Suddenly, it occurs to me that I would have appeared the same to anyone who looked at me. The, the, realize, the realization was like an epi- epiphany. The realization as like an epiphany. It gave me a jolt. I was in fact normal. If I pretend to be normal and behave just like everybody else, if I masked my emotion and I smiled a lot, even if I felt disconsolate, nobody would be able to tell me I made up my mind right then. That was all it took to be termed normal. That was how it would be from now on. No matter what I felt, I would never show it. I would pretend everything was fine. I no longer felt as suicidal as I had done earlier. Maybe it was the lithium or maybe it was the OT routines. But I knew I was feeling definitely better than before. The road from coldness of the isolated prison that I had been trapped in to this safe zone, which I was in now, had been a very rocky one. It had not been easy at all. It had nearly taken my life, but the fact was that I had made it and I was here now. I discovered from Anuj and Sagar that during the 4:30 to 6:30, ideas I discovered from Anuj and Sagar that during during the 4:30 to 6:30 evening slot, one could either OPT for volleyball, basketball, or badminton in a sports. If one did not want to play, one could do gardening. You had a choice of planting something in your own patch, which you would be allotted if your OPT opted for gardening, which you had a choice of planting something in your own patch, which you would be allotted if you opted for gardening. But if you did not want to do it on your own, but if you did not want to do it on your own, you could tend to the common plants in the garden. The garden was indeed beautiful. While I enjoyed while I enjoyed admiring and painting the flowers, I knew instantly that it was a sport I would opt for. Saga did not play but preferred gardening. Anuj played basketball. Anuj played basketball, and I decided to play with him. Playing with Anuj that evening, every nerve in my mind, every mu- playing with Anuj that evening, every nerve in my body pulsated with life. Anuj won easily. I was panting and struggling to keep up with him. But oh, the joy! I felt so alive as sweat trickled down my forehead as I ran, playing my best. I had been very long since I had any kind of physical exercise, and my muscles were stretched and groaned as they were compelled back into action. I reveled in it, savored it, and gloried in the effort of the game. Later, we sat on the hard cement floor of the court, utterly worn to be utterly worn out but truly satisfied. I wiped the sweat off my face and drank cool water from a plastic bottle that Sagar brought to us. I wiped the sweat off my face and drank cool water from a plastic bottle that Sagar brought to us. After his gardening, it felt like a nester. You have you two have 15 minutes to go. You two have 15 minutes to get out of those sweat drenched clothes and get ready, said Sagar. You two have 15 minutes to go. You two have 15 minutes to get out of those sweat drenched clothes and get ready, said Sagar. The game was so good I had almost forgotten we have PT, replied Anuj. I figured out that it stood for psychotherapy when Sagar asked if I knew which doctor was assigned to me. I guess it must be Dr. Madhusudan, I said. At least I hope so. Usually it is only the junior doctor who come for psychotherapy. Dr. Madhusudan is very senior. Mine in Anjana. Mine is Anjana. Anjana Thomas. She is good, said Anuj. Oh yeah, don't we all know it, said Sagar and I smiled. Yeah, don't we all know it? Said Sagar and I smiled. It occurred to me that we are discussing psychotherapy and doctor like we used to discuss subject and professors in college. The psychotherapy session involved talking to whichever doctor was assigned to you. I hoped like mad that I would see Dr. Madhusudan. He had promised me that he would come and see me. I hoped he was not too busy and would remember. But my hopes were short-lived as I discovered that it was a junior doctor called Namita Deshmukh who was assigned to me. Hello, Ankita. Hello, Ankita. Do come in and sit down. I am Dr. Namita, she said pleasantly, and I noticed that the smile reached her eyes. She wore a sari and had a melo- melodious voice. She wore a sari and had a she wore a sari and had a melodious voice. It looked like she meant her welcome, but I was not completely at ease. Then I noticed my file on her table. Ankita, I want to assure you that you are doing very well and we are all here to support you, she said. I nodded. I nodded. I hated that I hated the fact that she had seen my lab. I did not lack that every bit of my past was written in those papers and she knew everything about it. I did not mind discussing it with Dr. Madhusudan, but I felt Dr. Namita had no rights to know any of the past events that had changed my life so. It was as though she read my mind. Dr. Madhusudan has a special interest in your case and he will be here very soon. He has sent me to and told me to fill in till he comes. He has sent me to you and told me to fill it till he comes. We need to we need not talk about anything if you don't want. We can just talk about movies or anything else that interests you. I was not sure how to react to her words. Finally, I told her that I would wait for Dr. Madhusudan. We sat in the silence, and I think she was more uncomfortable. We sat in the silence. We sat in silence, and I think she was more uncomfortable than I was because she did not know what to do. Dr. Madhusudan arrived after about 10 minutes. I was overjoyed to see him. Thank you, Namita, he said as he dismissed her. And as she left, I found myself relaxing instantly. Dr. Madhustan could see that too. Ankita, all the doctors are trained to help. Dr. Namita is very sweet and efficient. I had personally assigned her to your case. She has made an in-depth study of your file, he said. But doctor, that is precisely what is making me uncomfortable, I exclaimed. Everything in the file is confidential, Ankita, and I must assure you that only the doctor assigned to the case will have access to the personal information files. He said that that reassured me somewhat. That reassured me somewhat. Then Dr. Madhusudan said that I was very talented and had a great gift for writing. He said I ought to nurture it. He also said my painting were good and I should take it up further. I was puzzled. How had Dr. Madhusudan know about my writing? There was only one way to know and I asked him. Ankita, the 42 pages letter that you wrote to your friend was that gave us a clue about it. The letter had some brilliant lines and some super prose. I'm sorry we had to go through it all. We also studied your pictures, the ones you painted, Dr. Madhusudan said. I was baffled. I was baffled. How did the letter how did the letter that I had written to Sui reach them? How did they get my paintings? Oh my god. I had poured out my heart in that letter. It was not meant for anybody else's eyes other than Sui's. How would we how could she betray me like this? Betray How could she betray me like this? I was hurt, upset, annoyed, yet a strange kind of relief also flooded through me because now there was nothing more than I could hide from Dr. Madhusudan anymore. It felt liberating in a very strange manner. All my defenses were laid bare. I was I was vulnerable and totally exposed, yet I felt completely safe. Ankita, your father was very worried about your behavior while you are in Bombay. The suicide attempt disturbed him no end as it would disturb my parent. Your father is so proactive person and he contact your friend Suvi. He explained the whole situation to her. He had to convince her a lot about the gravity of the situation. Finally, she mailed him a photocopy of the letter you wrote, which is what we have in the file here. It was the letter which first pointed me in the direction of bipolar disorder. Yours is not a typical textbook case. Yours is not a typical textbook case, Ankita. This was why the earlier doctors who treated you very thrown off the track. I said silently, I sat silently, absorbing all that he had said. I imagined the letter being analyzed and dissected. I pictured the doctor discussing the letter and then using medical terms to find pattern to a psychological disorder. I felt sick picturing it. I felt humiliated. I winced inwardly. Yet the dissections was that yet this dissection was what gave them an index. I winced inwardly. Yet this dissection was what gave them an indication of what I was going through. This was what I guided them in the this was that guided them in the right direction and they could control it and help me get out of its grip. I was confused no and their thoughts were going around. I was confused now and the thoughts were going round in my head. Sorry guys. Who is this? So funny RR 4R. You have some manner. You have some manner. Okay, I will call this guy. Hmm. Okay, again. I said silently, absorbing all that he said. I imagined the letter being analyzed and dissected. I pictured the doctor discussing the letter and then using medical of terms to find pattern to as psychology. I felt humiliated. I winced inwardly. Yet these dissections was what gave them an indication of what I was going through. This was what guided them in the right direction and they could control it and help me get out of its grip. I was confused now and his thoughts were going round in my head. Dr. Madhusudan again sensed what I must have been thinking. Perhaps he had that rare understanding and sensitivity, or perhaps he had that report with me. He seems to know exactly what I was thinking and how I felt. Ankita, do you know something? Creativity is closely associated with bipolar disorder. This condition is unique. Many famous historical figures and artists have had this. Yet they have led a full life and contributed so much to the society and the world at large. See, you have a gift. People with bipolar disorder are very, very sensitive, much more than ordinary people. They are able to experience emotion in a very deep and intense way. It gives them a very different perspective of the world. You need note that they lose touch with reality, but the feeling of extreme but the feelings of extreme intensity are manifested in creating things. They pour their emotion into their they pour their emotion into either writing or whatever field they have chosen. Have you heard of Vincent Van Gogh, Ankita? He asked. His voice was full of tenderness and concern. Of course, I had heard of Vincent Van Gogh. I had admired his work, and I was also astonished by its simplicity and depth when I had first come across it. I had, in fact, borrowed one of the art books from my school's library while at a school, and I had attempted to copy his painting. Oh yes, doctor, he's one of my favorite artists, I exclaimed in joy, smiling at the memory. You, oh yes, doctor, he is one of my favorite artists, I exclaimed in joy, smiling at the memory. Well, he well he told well he too had this bipolar disorder, said Dr. Madhusudan. Oh, I said, the revelation taking me by complete surprise. I had not know anything about the Van Gogh's personal life. The book that I had borrowed was mostly a collection of his painting and had not mentioned anything about his personal life. Dr. Madhusudan's word had found their marks, and now I was begin, beginning. Dr. Madhusudan's word had found their mark, and now I was beginning to feel very important and special. In a fit of in a fit of extreme emotion, Wang Go had cut off his ear, said Dr. Madhusudan. In a fit of in a fit of extreme emotion, Wang Go his ear, said Dr. Madhusudan. That piece of information, which was also new to me, brought me back to the painful reality of the illness in a GP. He could know he could now understand fully why he would have done that. He must have been helpless, caught in a vortex like I had been. I could now understand fully why he. Sorry, guys, one important call. हाँ क्या 24 है ना 24 20 में सिलेक्शन हो रहा है हाँ नहीं जोनल वाइज में शायद नहीं हुआ जोन में मतलब मे भी हो गया हो इसलिए पता नहीं कैसे बोले वो देखें तो दूसरा कॉलेज से शायद दो भी है मे भी हम्म हम्म, हाँ हाँ मे भी चीटिंग नहीं एक्चुअली हम लोग अप्रोक्स 3 से या 4 वेबसाइट पे चेक किया सारा तब जाके लिखे थे। वो भी एक क्वेश्चन मिस हो गया था, हम लोग उसको सर्च ही नहीं कर मतलब ले ही नहीं पाए थे फ़ोटो, इसी की वजह से वो हम लोग सर्च नहीं कर पाया। जब मेरा मतलब मेंबर था उसके पास वो क्वेश्चन आया तो वो बना ही नहीं पाया। एक्चुअली वो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन ही था तो पूरा कन्फ्यूज़ हो गया, उसको टिक 0.25 था वो भी नहीं हो पाया, इसीलिए। हाँ, चांसेस था। चैट चैटजीपीटी, गूगल लेंस, परप्लेक्सिटी, फिर जेमिनी एंड एक और मेटा एआई और एक और था श्रीराम के पास यार आई फॉरगॉट एक और कुछ है उससे। नहीं, नहीं, वो दूसरा मेंबर जब दूसरा टीम दिया था तो उससे फ़ोटो लेके उसका वाला पहले सर्च किए हुए अच्छे से प्रॉपर वे में, फिर उसके बाद जाके हम लोग वो किए थे। हाँ, फिर उसके बाद हम लोग अपना दिए थे। तो ज़रूरी है ना। हाँ, ठीक है निवेश। As he is an important guy for me, so that's why I received his call. So next time I will avoid, but avoid all those calls and anything that comes in between our session. So sorry for today, but from next time I will avoid. Okay. In a fit of extreme emotion, Wango had cut off his ear, said Dr. Madhusudan. The piece of information was also new to me brought me back to the painful reality of the illness in a GP. I could now understand fully why he would have done that. He must have been helpless, caught in a vortex like I had been just a fort- fortnight ago. Fortnight ago, when I had no control over my emotion, I could feel his helplessness and sense his pain. Ankita, this is going to come to you in a cycles. There will be high and there will be low. You have just experienced the high when you are at your creative best and unstoppable. Then you experience the low which was almost took your life. What we are doing here is helping you regulate it so that you can manage it yourself. This is just the first brush you have had with it. This is just the first brush you have had with it. There was be further episode and you have to be prepared. We are here for you to help you. There may be further episodes and you have to be prepared. We are here for you to help you, said Dr. Madhusudan. We enjoy, we enormity, the enor, the enormity, the enormity, the enormity of whatever he had said was sinking in slowly and spreading in my mind like darkness after sunset. Till then, it had not occurred to me that I might have a battle it once more. I had presumed that the worst was over and it was be what behind me. I had presumed I had presumed that the worst was over and it was behind me. Yet I had implicit faith in Dr. Madhusudan's word. I felt if the I felt if he said I could manage it, I would. I believed it. I believed him with all my heart. I believed him with all my heart. Sometimes all one needs is a strong anchor, a person you can trust blindly. Sometimes all one needs is a strong anchor, a person you can trust blindly. Someone who will lead you on the someone who will lead you on, be there for you and never let you down. To me, Dr. Madhusudan was that person. His presence calmed me. His words reassured me. I trusted him completely. You are a very brave you are a very brave girl, Sankita. You are a very brave girl, Ankita, he said as he patted my hand. Faith is a strange and a powerful thing, and it can work miracles. It was something I would soon discover. So that was the 2 days. Faith is powerful thing. Yeah, that if you have any willingness for doing anything, then you can do. Otherwise, any other one try to fix you, then you can't. If you have no desire for that things, you can't do that. So if some people's one famous line in Marvels, maybe if I have video, I can show you on screen. Mm. Sorry guys, I am not. I have one video I will show you in which in Marvel Studio, one scene when Doctor Strange went to Nepal, Kathmandu, where the ancient one character, he told that how people fix their uh, cuts and jakham wound, maybe in English, how that fix, how that treat, how that things go well, just because of the willness of that person who want to fix it. Is the person that cannot give give the signal to mind that create that cells to fix it. They can't be cuts and damage will heal in our body. Similar way here the story is faith is powerful things like that same thing. So we have faith on my on our works, so that we can complete anything that we desired, that we faith. So all those things that here. So from as tomorrow our exam will be end, so I hope I will do approx 2 hour session tomorrow, as we have started this book on our exam day. So as the exam will end, this book will I want to complete this book on tomorrow. So last two chapter is left, and tomorrow I will finish it. And from next day I will start reading some other book. If you have any suggestion, please suggest me the new book, not textbook like environment and others. Just like any self improvement book, any other book, fictional story, horror story, and all those books. I will order it or borrow from my friends, and then I will read it. Okay. So as I have some books, I will show you which book will uh, which book I will start from next time, and from next time means from 26 I will do some other way to improve my communication skill, not the only book reading. So all about this for today, and from next day we will come back with full energy. And tomorrow our not second year complete, but yeah, almost 98% of our second year is going to complete tomorrow. Hi Ravi Kumar. Hey. So okay, now I'm going to prepare for my BPD session, as the first lab session was about BPDC revision for most probably mid sem one. So tomorrow is BPDC and the last day. So with all those chapter I will close. From next time I will start something new. So hi Ravi, I hope you are good. Abhijit, thanks for coming here, and this four times R. I don't know who is this guy. I will see. Okay guys, see you tomorrow. Bye.